So this is the project. We started with 3 blocks of green oak, which we bought from the local merchant, and cut this down into slabs of 4 by 3 to provide the frame. Then, as you can see here, cut a mortise and tenon, laid out on the bench, glued the main structure under tension, and then we prepared oak pegs using this sophisticated peg making gadget. And you can see there on the right and left the pegs then drilled and pushed through and glued. The planks were then cutting down again the remaining timber and screwing that to the frame. You can see there's a little bit packing to level things up. Then a piece of timber across the top to hold the rails, and what's important in making the frame and getting this stage is that the gates are square. Now the rails, to cut a pattern, originally a pattern, drew it on paper, and then using a router, it was relatively simple, it's a long job, but cut out these rails. Then using this drill, we thought the best solution was to cut, you can see here, end pegs which would slot into the timber frame. So you can see them lined up there, and then drilling holes in the top and the bottom frame. It was quite difficult to slip them in, but what we did is inserted all the pegs in the bottom frame, and then together slipped them all standing upright like this in, and then pushed them all into the top peg holes and banged them into place. Now the finishing was also done in a router. It's quite crude, but really worked well. These were just the remaining bits of wood from the 3 blocks that we'd cut down. You can see the pattern there, and it was just experiment to see what would work best. These are then countersunk and screwed onto the main frame. You can see there I have a router which makes these pegs from the oak. They're then banged into the holes that for the screws, and then just chipped off with the chisel and sanded down. Makes a lovely job. Very easy to do. I didn't glue them in. And a technique to get, if you have to unscrew these panels, all you do is you screw through the peg directly into the peg. It hits the nail below, the screw below, and then and so now you see what we welding. This is a quite complicated job. The stone gate was fairly narrow, and to get a car through, we didn't want to lose any of the gap. It's quite a tight fit for the car to fit through the 2 gates. So we designed these hinges so that the gate is thrown back away from the opening. You can see it here. There's an adjustment which we thought was important. With this being green oak, there's a risk that the oak over time will sag a little, and with these adjusting bolts, it's very easy just to make that adjustment. Now here we had 2 stones, they're coping stones from the top of a wall, and they make a perfect stop, and 2 levels. I dug the hole, set them in cement, levelled them up, and then drilled a hole for the bolt. So there you can see the completed gates. You can see how they swing back out of the way, and they look very nice. Very pleased with them.